Gentleman's recognized.
Thank you, Congressman Stile, and Congressman Morelli, thank you for leading the charge on this. You know, I think, like many things, the public does not know the dollars that are going to politicians who corrupt the system, game the system, and they get paid for it. So, as Congressman Stile and Congressman Morelli mentioned, I rise in strong support of the Senate companion to my legislation, the No Corruption Act. This legislation gives us an opportunity to rectify the abuse of the taxpayers' dollars. Under current law, members of Congress who have been convicted of various crimes related to public corruption, they remain eligible to receive a taxpayer-funded pension until all avenues have been exhausted. This can take years, and it has taken years. Even if the appeal is unsuccessful, there is no clawback on the funds that have been wrongly paid. It's in the hands of the politician who violated their oath when they came to Congress. The No Corruption Act fixes that loophole by immediately stripping a member's pension upon initial conviction rather than final conviction. If an appeal was successful, the money halted by this legislation would be paid back fully. So he's not out the money. With this simple reform, taxpayers' money is not given to criminals, and the interest of taxpayers is balanced with the rights of the accused. Americans would be outraged if they knew about the various perks that former members of Congress, many who have been in the news recently, receive. Pension payments to those who have been convicted of a crime is yet another example of wasteful spending that needs to be terminated, and it needs to be terminated now. It's time for members of Congress to start acting like everyday Americans, not elite politicians sheltered by their own rules. Those who serve in Congress, and it's such an honor to serve in this body, should be held to the highest of standards in order to instill trust and confidence in our government. Anyone who does not measure up should not receive a taxpayer-funded pension, which for some members can surpass $70,000 per year. I would like to thank Senators Jackie Rosen and
Gentlemen.
Seconds.
I would like to thank Senators Jackie Rosen and Rick Scott for their bipartisan work in getting this legislation passed by unanimous consent in the Senate, and I urge my colleagues to do the same and pass it. I yield back, Mr. Speaker.